Hey everyone, Jeff Wright, Financial Wellness Director at Three Rangers Foundation, coming with a financial FAQ segment. One of the most common questions I get from active duty service members that are transitioning off of active duty is, what do I do about life insurance? This is important because the timeline at which you explore and apply for and obtain life insurance matters. Mostly because obviously when you leave active duty, SGLI is going to lapse at some point. So that coverage won't be there. So you either need to get a private term policy or apply for VGLI. But the other hidden landmine to avoid is that once you get your disability rating, your service connected disability rating, that can impact either the cost or your ability to obtain life insurance because they'll go through a medical underwriting process. And to the extent that any of that information is out there on medical records or even in the questionnaire where they ask you about things like that, that can become an impediment. So I always tell people to get their life insurance applications done before they leave active duty, and especially before they get their disability rating. So that's the approach that you got to take from a timeline perspective. 6 to 12 months out, you're starting to think about researching policies. Probably 3 to 6 months out is when you're actually applying for them. And then that way, by the time you leave active duty and start the disability rating process, that's already in process, and hopefully you've already obtained it by then. Now, the amount of life insurance that you should look to get is dependent on your personal situation, but the type and the amount is driven by kind of the understanding of what life insurance is supposed to provide for. And what it's supposed to provide for is the loss of income that would be needed to support your family or whatever should something happen to you. So the cheapest way to do that and with the most coverage is term life insurance. So I always recommend term life insurance, and you can think about how much you need based on your income level or how much might be needed to provide in your absence. And you can always apply for VGLI after the fact as well. You can always add insurance later on in life. Again, with the rating, it might be a little more difficult, but at the end of the day, get it done sooner than later before your SGLI lapses and before your disability rating is approved. Rangers lead the way.